Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our mini-season finale of Outbreak Undead Zombie Apocalypse. This one's going to be something. We have had 5 independent groups travel before the one that you are about ready to see. Those 5 groups have had varying degrees of success, much like the system itself. The world around them is brutal. And so we will see, now that everything has been set into motion, all the plans of post-apocalyptic Garrett Maryland have been, if not revealed, initiated. And as the final group makes its way into this Valley of the Undead, we will see how they fare and perhaps learn the fate of some of those that have come before them. But before we go around and jump into the unknown, let's make some things known as we greet our last round of survivors. I look straight down when I say, Kiana, how are you doing today, and are you ready for the zombie apocalypse?
I am doing great. I no longer sound like death, which is, always an improvement, and I am so excited to be here and delving into the zombie apocalypse. I don't know if excited is actually the right word. I'm just going to use excited for now. But ever since that teaser from the end of last episode, where Greg said that we were on motorcycles and that, we look kick-ass, I'm like, well, I have all the pieces in my wardrobe already. We're going to go fucking kick-ass and kick some zombie ass.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's the positivity. We're going to kick ass. It's like a mantra that no one believes. We're going to do it. We're going to kick ass. And let's go over to a new face on the channel. Josh, how are you doing today, my friend? And are you ready for the zombie apocalypse?
Hey guys, I'm doing great, and I am very ready. I mean, motorcycles and baseball bats, guns, zombies. What's there not to be excited about?
Excitement, confidence. Oh, I love the beginnings of these sessions.
Oh yeah.
It's great to quote Jeff Goldblum, and then there's running and screaming. Welcome, my friend, and let's cut over to another new face on the channel. Josiah, how are you doing today, my friend? And are you ready for the zombie apocalypse? Oh, and it begins.
I'm doing okay. I'm definitely anxious. More anxious than nervous. I'm ready to get into it and see what happens. But either way, let's do this.
I love it, man. I love it. So everybody, it's either accepting your fate, confidence, positivity. Pope, thank you very much for the donation. Kiana, you have a weapon coming to your way from Pope Deadpool. And now we go over to the last of our fresh faces. Alyssa, how are you doing, and are you ready for the zombie apocalypse?
I am very excited. It's only my second streamed game, so we'll see how this goes. I do have a 2nd degree green belt in Taekwondo in real life, so I am gonna kick ass.
Oh, okay. So that's how it is. Everyone is definitely confident, definitely positive, and there is going to be some ass kicking. Okay. I love it. I like it. And finally, the person that I know is either going to kick ass or there's going to be death by sarcasm for the undead. Strider, how are you doing, my friend? And are you ready for the zombie apocalypse?
Over to the less fresh faces. Dude, it's been like 2 or 3 weeks, though, since I've been on the channel, and it just kind of feels way longer than that. It's been forever. I'm playing a character today called, Strider. The spew system personality test is pretty innovative, but it told me that I'm a sociopath, so I don't agree with that. I think I actually like all these internet friends I'm making, and I'm very good and personable. In my mind's eye, I'm trying to picture why I'm in Maryland. I picture I get onto an airplane, I go up into the sky, the zombie apocalypse starts, I land, I step out, and I'm like, oh, this place sucks.
Nice. And we have a bunch of things coming in. Thank you so much, chat. As Kiana, you have an advantage, which is a 2nd roll should you need it. We have Pope Deadpool, who has also contributed a weapon for Strider. So a weapon coming from the Pope And let's see,
My holy smiter.
right, exactly. We'll give you something as great as we can. And we will get into that quickly as we see exactly what... I think I had one more come in, everybody. Hold on one second. I want to make sure everyone's represented here as... a crit for Strider from one Dwight Burke. So you have another crit. You can actually add that to your competency points and bump them up to 6 should you wish, Strider, to keep track of everything, as I am not going to be able to as things quickly descend into madness in this game, and we're on the honor system. So, I am going to start, as we always do, by telling everyone, including the audience and the players, what has happened since the fall. But for the last time, I will tell you that this is Outbreak Undead, Session 6, the finale, entitled Don't Fear the Reaper. Almost 9 months ago it happened. People started getting sick. A global pandemic was declared. Those not exhibiting symptoms were quarantined from the vast majority that were. These preservation pods, as they became known, were federal or state government facilities. Most were military or public safety in nature, National Guard centers, police barracks. For over 6 months, these pods ran throughout the country. Then the food ran out. Reports from the outside were vague at best. Radio and television reported for a while, but quickly reverted to looped warnings. Now, the internet lasted a bit longer, but the information was so unreliable, it was impossible to tell what was fact, if anything, and what was fiction. Some of the rumors were as follows. The sickness was man-made, a terrorist attack. The whole world was infected. A meteor had passed too close to the Earth, bringing some form of radiation. It was a super strain of influenza caused by antibiotic overuse. On and on and on. Finally, everything went dark. But the last bit of information to reach the pods came one day, nearly 2 months ago. It stated, many infected with the sickness died, perhaps as much as 90%. However, they did not stay dead. Soon after passing, the corpse would reanimate, and as zombie movies had led us to believe, they become mindless, aggressive, and hungry. As for the other 10%, these living infected, oh, they did not die. Quite the contrary. These beings exhibited evolved senses, speed, strength, and savagery. They hunt in packs, but do not seem to be able to communicate in the traditional sense. And the last bit of information. Washington, Baltimore, Philly, and New York had been able to push back the dead and infected, but at great cost. The area, now known as the Mega, can protect the living inside and support them with food and supplies, but as of now cannot advance their front lines. And there was one final warning. To anyone seeing this message, help is not coming. The dead and infected outnumber you 80-1. You must find your way to the Mega. We are waiting for you. Now, as for you, group, in your pod, your preservation pod, you were all remote enough to have not experienced anything more than a few zombies at the fence. The soldiers assigned to you had put them down with little trouble, but none of these infected, these super savage creatures had been sighted. The soldiers believed the normal zombies relied more on sound than either sight or smell, though they believed that smell did play a role with these infected. With supplies at critical levels, those in charge of the pod proposed an escape to the Mega. Several convoys consisting of 4 to 6 vehicles each would make the trek, taking different routes. For safety's sake, each vehicle would travel 45 to 60 minutes apart, and if any vehicle experienced trouble, protocol obligated them to fire a flare into the air, so that the trailing vehicles could be warned and reroute if necessary. It is currently 12 p.m. I'm sorry, it's currently midnight. Your vehicles are asphalt steeds, the proverbial John Bon Jovian steel horses. Your mounts are pristine 1979 Harley-Davidson Sportsters, and they rumble in formation down Interstate 68 toward the Mega. A road sign says Garrett, Maryland is less than 1 mile away. On the road ahead of you, you see no 1972 Jeep Grand Wagoneer, no 1978 Ford Bronco, no 84 Dodge Ram or 80 Chevy van, and definitely no 1974 Volkswagen Thing. All of the vehicles that had apparently and presumably preceded you. So far, you haven't encountered any hostiles. You are the last of your convoy. Good luck. And just as you rumble past the sign that says Garrett, Maryland, 1 mile, you travel for another 30 seconds, Kiana, when a huge flare, a ball of lifting liquid fire, rises off to the right and forward to the southeast. You see it illuminate the valley for hundreds of yards around, the light carrying itself to you here. And as you stop, and as you pull your helmet off and look in that direction, you do not see any warning flare, as is the purview of your convoy. But there was a mighty big fucking explosion, and everyone in this party sees it. What would you all like to do?
Well, that looks like a warning sign more than anything. I don't know if big explosion says, hey, don't come here. There may be dangers than that.
Yeah, kind of yelling over the low hum of the motorcycle engines as we all slow down to converge and discuss things. They might need help, but I think that means stay away. At least that's how I'm going to take that.
Definitely.
What if it's one of the first in the convoy, though?
Well, if it's one in the convoy, either that's their makeshift flare or they got into trouble and there's an explosion. And I don't know if I want to figure out why there's an explosion.
See, I'm with you there.
Either way, it's bad stuff happening over there, so I say we give it a wide berth.
Greg, what is the road ahead looking like?
Well, normally at this point I would ask the group who's driving and who's sitting where, but you're all driving as you're riding your steel horses. I will ask each person in turn, and the answer can be different for any or all of you. Do you have your headlamps on?
Yeah, is the city up ahead lit? Are power systems still running and streetlights still on?
Go ahead, and anybody that wants to get additional information from this distance would need to roll a spot listen check for me, just to see if I can tell you things.
I have 5 degrees of failure, which is also the name of my zombie-themed band.
At 2 degrees of failure.
Okay, so as you adjust your graphic T of 5 degrees of failure, you do not pay attention to what's happening to the southeast. But Josh, as you turn and look, kind of moving your bike up beside Kiana, walking it a bit, you can see down into the valley. And as I explained to everyone else, the geometry of nature, the trees and the fingers of limbs, the roll of hills, grass gives way to the geometry of civilization, where triangles, squares, and rectangles dominate the scene. However, the darkness from nature bleeds now into this civilization, as beyond the explosion that is now dulling around the area, a couple errant orange glows here and there. You don't see any type of artificial light. The city's dead.
Did the explosion sound as if it came from the direction of the civilization, or just up ahead of us and with the convoy?
It definitely felt as if it was coming. You're currently headed almost due east, and the explosion as it rocked through the valley, and better yet, the actual light that came from it was off of your current path to the south. It's still ahead, so it's about south, it's southeasterly, but it doesn't look as if the road you're currently on will pass through that area. It'll pass close, a little north of it, but it doesn't look like it's going to be driving right through there.
If rumors are true and these things like sound, it's going to draw some attention.
Definitely.
That also means if it is part of the caravan, they went off the path. If they went off the route, something's up ahead.
Yeah, they would have definitely needed a reason. I think I will have my headlamp on, by the way.
I suggest we have one person with a headlamp on, just a good 2 or 3 car lengths ahead of us.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us, well, they're also super noisy, so.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Either way.
I say we have one person with a headlight on to make sure we don't run into any obstacles, but to also conceal numbers.
Okay.
Okay, so Josh, are you going to be the one with the headlight on?
Yeah, I'll have mine on.
So you're able to navigate your way towards the front of the line. You guys are about, we'll say, a half mile, 3/4 of a mile outside of this city. The road ahead of you, the interstate, Interstate 68 East, occasionally has an abandoned car here and there. You'll see them, but nothing is choking the road. It's not as if, a parking lot has abandoned them. And of course, with your motorcycles, you are much better equipped to evade any type of problem like this or potential obstruction. But you guys, nothing has come up yet where you think that any of your vehicles ahead of you would had problems getting around or negotiating. It's maybe one car every half, 3/4 of a mile. So you easily can go around in the other lane. And up ahead of you, Josh, as you turn on your headlamp, you see just another abandoned car as it sits there. But as soon as your light does illuminate it, you notice that there's something in the back that's glinting in the back window of this Buick Skylark.
Okay, I'll come to a stop and sort of signal the other guys. Once they're close enough to communicate with, I'll point it out, just kind of like that kind of deal.
Okay, and Josh, because you were brave enough to go first into the zombie apocalypse, we have armor that was gifted last week that was not used. That armor carries over, and we're going to say that before the events of this particular session took place, both you and Kiena have found flak jackets. They will give you a bonus 2 to your damage threshold, putting a little bit more between you and the teeth of the undead. And as you pull up, as everybody kind of creeps up behind Josh, you can see that there is something in the back window. It's either clothing or some type of canvas. You're not entirely sure. But it's reflective on one side, which caught Josh's eye.
Do we want to check that out?
May as well. At least a couple of us just didn't want to do it alone in case there's anything in there.
Just hurry if we're going to keep stopping. I don't want to idle our engines too long.
All right. Hey, Skylar, give us some long range. Keep us covered. Josh, you want to come with me and check it out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and unholster my pistol and just start moving up with Josh.
Okay. As you guys... Yeah, go right ahead.
I was just going to say baseball bat for me.
Okay. Bat out, and as you guys walk forward, hopping off your bikes and having them kind of lean to rest, as you creep forward, you do not see anything inside the Buick. There's no corpse or potential hazard from the undead. But when you look in, you see what looks like some type of a hunter's bag, and the reflective material on it is in combination with the opposite side, which is safety orange.
Oh, looks like it could be useful.
Maybe, or it's a trap.
That's a fair point.
Can I try and see if I hear, just kind of thinking worst case scenario here, see if I hear any ticking or beeping from the back?
Yeah, spot listen for me. You don't hear anything that, you get closer, the windows and one of the doors on the Buick's open, but you don't hear anything, any type of independent sound coming either from the inside of the car or the bag itself.
Check underneath, too.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out my pocket knife. Instead of moving the bag, I'm gonna cut the side open.
Okay. So as you begin to cut through, it's kind of a heavy grade canvas, almost something that you would see on a military grade tarp from the 70s or 80s. It's just kind of like a treated fabric, not so much a plastic. And as you kind of start cutting through
I'm not doing too much. If it doesn't go with enough force to where it's not gonna move it, I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah, you're getting it. It's something that,
okay.
it's not like, shark skin or anything like that. It's just a little bit sturdier than maybe today's, gym bag or something like that.
Okay.
And as you begin to cut through it, I would like Kiana, Strider, and Alyssa to roll me spot listen checks, please. Okay, Kiana, as everyone else is kind of looking off into various, the tree lines on either side of the interstate, it is you that sees the small white hand reach out from underneath the Buick. As it reaches out, you see it drop something that almost looks like an eyedropper onto Josiah's boot. And you see the little hand pull back, and you see something scramble out from the opposite side of the car towards the tree line.
Hey! Guys, step back, and I'm going to immediately kind of pull out the gun. And
I'm running back. I'm like 3-4 steps back away.
Are you bringing the bag with you?
No, I'm leaving it.
Okay. Josh, you're still there. Are you retreating as well?
Yeah, I'm pulling back as well as soon as I hear Kiana. Yeah.
Okay. Kiana, as these guys are coming back towards their bikes to get back, since you're the only person that rolled a success here, you hear, because you kind of know what to listen for, as the boot falls of Josh and Josiah hit the ground, you hear the slight sound of bare feet as it pads off in the asphalt towards and away from you.
I'm just gonna answer. Something was under the car. It's running off that way. It put something on your boot, Josiah. You might want to check that.
Which boot? Left or right?
It would have been, since you were leaning to get in. What are you, right or left hand dominant? Okay, so it would have been, it would have been your right boot as you would have leaned into.
I am immediately just taking it off.
I told you to look under the car.
You said the bag, not the car.
I said under. I meant the car.
Fine, I'll give that one to you, and I'm just taking the boot off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cursing myself for not looking under the car too.
There's definitely something on the lace, the lower lace area of the boot, Josiah. It seems to have been some type of liquid. And you can see the darkening of the laces and the darkening of the leather of the boot beneath, but you can't tell what it is as far as color or anything.
It's not seeping through the boot, is it?
It doesn't appear to be acidic or anything like that. No, it's just being absorbed into the leather.
I'm still taking it off, just to be safe.
Okay. What are you doing with the boot?
I'm chucking it as far as I can.
Okay. So the boot travels off. You're now kind of barefoot, partially as it flips off, and you hear it as it hits the undergrowth of this along the sides of the road.
Okay, so it wasn't nitroglycerin, otherwise that would have gone boom.
I have no idea what it was, but whatever it was, hiding it ran off on the other side of the car.
So the question is, do we want to chase after, or...
I think we've kind of learned our lesson about straying off our path. We can just keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep going back to what you said before about traps. So
Yeah, that was very weird. Anyone got a spare boot?
It seems organized. Like I don't think that's a mindless beast setting a trap.
it's a strange trap, though.
Yeah, well,
Either way, the bag's not worth it. We should probably get going.
Yeah, that's fair.
While you're all talking, you can either ride off or you can all roll me a spot listen check.
God.
Oh, I got a degree of success this time.
Oh, come on.
Strider, as you're sitting there kind of having this conversation, it's one of those moments where you kind of turn the handlebars of your bike, and whether it's kind of a reflection of the moonlight, but something casts off the chrome of the movement of your bike, and for a moment in the tree line to your right, which would be the south, you see the reflection of eyes. You are unsure whether or not what kind of skull they're housed in, but there's definitely something watching you.
Is the window open enough that I can ride up to the car and reach in, grab the bag, and just
Absolutely.
get going out of here?
I love this plan. Yes, you can absolutely do it.
I'm gonna definitely do it then.
Are you taking point then?
No, I think that's still on Josh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll head back to my bike and yeah.
Okay, so Josh, as you turn the headlight back on your Harley Davidson, and you as it just rumbles off as these 5 impressive 1970 iron steeds go past. Strider, you reach in, slow down just enough to grab a hold of the heavy canvas bag and pull it free. Nothing happens. You now have a bag. It seems heavy.
I'll take a moment to look at what's inside as everyone's getting their motorcycle started then.
As you kind of cradle the bag in your lap on right above the gas tank of your Harley, you unzip the side and you can see the cut that Josiah was starting to make. And inside you see something interesting. A very ornate wood-handled blunderbuss that seems to have 4 thick, nearly elephant gun-sized tubes. They all extend in what looks like the 4-side of a 6-sided die, ending at a flat, almost sawed-off ending. It seems, however, though, with any experience in firearms, that this looks like a mechanism that can only fire once, and it will fire every barrel at once. It seems to be loaded.
All right. Zip.
I will let you know, Strider, that this is a super weapon. If you elect to fire this gun, it will hit, it will do maximum damage, and then it will be useless. You all rumble towards Garrett, unless there's anything else anyone would like to do. But as you rumble towards Garrett, Josh, you are the first to see the beginnings of the city creep up beside you. And once again, I will ask everyone to make spot listen checks for me, but this time with advantage, because you, unlike the rest of the group, are completely exposed to the wonderful Garrett Maryland air, and thus have nothing between you and the fun.
Sorry, I rolled that before I heard the advantage part. Sorry, I got a little trigger happy.
No
So-
problem. Just let me know if you have any successes.
Do we roll a second time after the first?
Yep, everybody gets to roll twice.
0 degrees of success instead of 0 degrees of failure.
It's always better.
1 degree for me.
1 degree.
Ooh, look at that. Alyssa, as you pull up and as everyone kind of looks around and you guys are still rolling slow through the area, no one's stopping, everyone can see that there's been a bit of activity. There are marks on the road that indicate screeched wheels and rubber marks around the exit leading into Garrett. You see numerous spots that look like either flames or firearms were fought in this particular stretch of area. There is still an orange glow heading from your south, which would be into Garrett. But Alyssa, you're the one that notices to the north, which would be in the exact opposite direction of Garrett. There is a static, white, artificial glow. Very reminiscent to what lighting used to look like before the end of days.
It's kind of weird.
What do you see?
Looks like somebody's got power to the north.
Someone with a generator trying to hold out?
Maybe.
Probably most likely.
Alright. So basically we could go to weird artificial light power over there, or deal with whatever caused the explosion the other way.
Or straight ahead east.
Or straight ahead east.
You know what I'm going to vote for.
Right. Alright.
I mean, presumably, the whatever artificial light is up ahead, whether it's a generator or what have you, we know that there's someone around here that put something on Josiah's boot. So, if the best assumption to make would be that that's that person, or that person has more people with them. So it
Yeah.
might be best to avoid.
I was just kind of assuming anyone we bumped into would want to group up and not hide under cars with
You would think so.
boot juice. So,
You would think so.
since I don't know what's going on with them or their boot juice, I'd kind of want to stay away.
Yeah, I kind of like my boots.
Are you all sitting here talking, or are you like
We are
rumbling?
Still
Or-
moving. Slowly.
Okay. At this point, you are drifting past the exit. So you're either going to have to stop and decide north or south, or continue east.
What do you think?
As much as I'm curious about the other guys in the caravan, I think we would have saw them by now if they were still heading on.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you, man.
There'll be plenty of people to talk to at Mega.
Yeah, let's keep going. You good with that, Alyssa?
Yeah.
Alright.
So as you all continue to creep forward, Josh leading the way, you rumble and kind of pull about a quarter of a mile outside of Garrett, past the exit ramp, and you pass by a dirt bike that is still, you can see in the cool air of autumn, there's still heat coming off of the engine, but the front wheel of this bike looks as if, instead of a circle, it's more like Pac-Man. A triangle of the frame has been bent in, obviously making it in its current state unusable. but this is definitely something that has recently appeared. And as you rumble past it, Josh, you see nothing else. Everyone sees this as they go by.
I think someone hit another someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like. Do we want to salvage the gas or just keep going?
How are we on gas?
Luckily, you all have, since you guys deal with a little bit more refueling than the other groups, you are good to go for about another 100 miles. You have indicated upon your trip to the mega areas that were most likely to have gas. So right now you're fine. And any gas that would come out of that dirt bike would probably help one of you.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't know if it's worth it to
No.
stop again.
We know someone's here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I will to keep going.
Is the is kind of the Pac-Man cutout? Is that like bloodied?
Do you want to stop and take a look?
No, it's not. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know what? Yes, I do. Just right quick, as quick as I can.
Okay.
Still have the running and everything.
There's not many things to hit out here, so we have to assume these things are like deer and just kind of jump out into the road in front of you. Keep your eyes open.
Okay, the question I will say too is that, or the suggestion, observation, you are all in independent vehicles. If Josiah decides to stop and check, that does not mean the rest of you must stop as well. I'm going to assume that if he does stop, everyone's going to stop unless you tell me otherwise. So remember that you guys are all independent with your movements. If there is an action being performed, I'm assuming everyone's either stopping to partake in the action, help in the action, or observe the action. If you do not wish to do that, please let me know and you can continue along your merry. So as Josiah pulls to a stop, kicks the stand, does anyone continue east?
We're not super grouped up, maybe like 30 yards down, but yeah, come to a stop.
Okay.
Same here.
Roll me a spot listen, Josiah, as you kind of swing off and get close to the dirt bike.
Okay. 1 degree of success.
Yeah, you thought it was a decal. This thing is covered in what looks like dried maroon blood, still tacky and fresh. And in many situations, especially near the handlebars, what looks like gray matter.
Okay, so this is either a dead rising bike that is just totally meant to take out zombies, or someone's a complete and total lunatic. We can keep going now.
Cool. We should be careful then to not possibly hit things.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There's not many targets here on the road.
No, so I'm more worried of things coming onto the road.
Yeah.
Quick enough that you couldn't dodge easily either.
Yeah, so let's keep a move on and just an eye out on the sides of the road.
Okay. So as you all are going, you rumble down the road, and I would like Josh to make a spot listen check for me.
Oh
Okay,
no.
so- Josh, as you are riding, the rumble of the Harley beneath you, and as you kind of look over your shoulder to see how close your fellows are, and as mentioned, varying degrees of 30 yards, but you guys are not clustered together, but definitely, riding in the traditional Harley sense. You roll the bike around the corner of the road coming in, and as you turn your head back around, you are among the undead.
Oh man.
You immediately hit one in front of you as it just flips over your handlebars. I need you to make a composure roll for me, please. I need everyone to make a composure roll for me, please. Here's where that empathy comes in, everybody. So with varying degrees of either zero failure or success, Josh, you're in the worst way as you're able to maintain the upright posture on the bike. You don't lay it down. Everyone else, you come to a stop as you see him enter into this incredibly dense herd of the undead. They immediately turn to track this rumbling iron steed that goes into maybe past the front line, 2 lines, 3 zombies deep of this 10-foot wide, by God knows how many deep army of the undead. Josh, as you get it around, you're able to kind of stop your bike, but for a moment, you turn and you see that there is a column, a brief closing column between the rest of the party and you, but the only way you're going to get there is if you leave the bike.
Oh no. Oh. I don't think I have any choice. It's either that or be surrounded by zombies.
Or if you can think of something else to do,
No.
let me hear it, and I will definitely, yeah.
No. I think I'll leave the bike.
Okay, so as you basically jump off your bike and as you land, you're standing on some of the undead that you knocked over as you crunch and crack into desiccated sternums. And as you're walking along this mattress of undead with the same give and take as a spring-filled sleeping apparatus, you're walking and moving, and you all see Josh. His bike tips over, the headlamp causing an erratic blast of a searchlight into the sky and against the undead. And you see him running through this column as it begins to close, because shoulders turn, heads turn, as they're all looking at this new arrival with delight and hunger, as much as somebody in that state can. Anything you guys want to do at this brief moment that you see Josh running towards you?
Is there, if he gets back to us, is there an easy enough way to try to circumvent this herd and go around them, or are we in a situation where we just can't even pass?
It seems that now that the light is failing and it's no longer trained on these creatures, you can see that they are dense, that they are walking nearly shoulder to shoulder. And if just the shadowy mass is any indication, it goes around the corner that you are currently traveling along at least 30 or 40 yards. So they are deep, dense, and on the move, presumably towards an explosion that they heard. So anything as Josh makes his run for life?
Does it look like they're starting to close in around him?
Oh yeah.
Can I lay down some cover fire and try to clear a path for him to get back to us?
Absolutely. If you can, I will even allow you to stay on the bike if you want to kind of position it where you fire into the herd. And if you are just firing into this mass, are you trying to clear a path for Josh, or are you just trying to take some of them out? Or are you shooting close to Josh or away from him?
I wanna kind of be careful, but make it a little easier for him to get back here.
Okay, so here's the devil's bargain. You can absolutely do this. You can use either the AK-47's auto 3 successes, which would deplete some of the ammunition in it, or you can go ahead and take a roll. But with a number of failures, there's the potential that you could hit Josh. If you shoot away from him, it might help, but if you're successful with your clearing the way, it will definitely help. Or you'll shoot him.
This seems like it would be a good time to spend a competency point as I try to aim. So let's do that. How do I do that?
If you want to use a competency point, just take it right off of your resources and you get an automatic success. So if you would, just click on the red square and we'll see what damage you do to this group that you fire on.
All right.
Okay, so with a as the AK spits out a burst of 2 or 3 rounds, Josh, as you're running, you see one of the ones with the broader shoulders turn, and it continues to turn quickly as it is spun by these shells that are very close to you, as you feel the whistle and the thud in some type of flesh behind you. But for a moment, you have a way to get free. What I'm going to need you to roll here is a balance roll, Josh, as you are running against corpses that you've knocked down, and in some instances are being redirected or having to shoulder your way out of this closing mass.
I'm gonna do a 180 on the motorcycle too, driving not like into the bulk of these things, but closer, so Josh has some kind of target to run towards and something to get on. If he
Nice, thank you. Can I use a competency point for this balance roll?
Absolutely, and I will let you know that if you want to you'll have one success, as one of these, it would have been 2 had it not been for the actions of Alyssa, one of them is going to take a swipe at you.
Okay, so sorry, with the competency roll, does that do I need to click anything or
Nope, just take a point off of the resources. You should have 5, you can take it down to 4. I will let you know that the zombie also had 1 degree of success, which if you do not want to take damage, you're going to have to spend another competency point to kind of out-succeed it.
done?
Okay. So with a swipe, as maybe it's happenstance that at just that moment you kind of tilt a bit as you're walking across the thigh bone of one of the down zombies, but you're able to slip under the swipe as you guys see Josh. I'm assuming, not to take away player agency, that the eyes are wide as he bursts free of this horde, and they all turn and begin to stumble and shuffle at an accelerated rate towards your group. What would you all like to do? You all have independence here upon your bikes.
I'm running for Strider.
Strider's looking over his shoulder to make sure the zombies don't get here first.
It's going to be close. There's a couple quick ones.
Yeah, probably get out of here. These guys look fast.
Everybody on a bike, if you want to leave, I, your benevolent game master, will say that you may absolutely spin your bikes around and head back to the west. If you are sticking around, I will let you know that as a benevolent game master, you are still in the field of battle and thus capable of being hurt.
Who's picking up Josh?
I'm headed for Strider because he was closest, right?
He, angled himself so he
Okay.
would be there
Got
waiting
pulled up
for
a
you.
little bit.
Alright.
And I am also thinking what God I believe in that Alyssa saved me there.
Welcome.
As you're running, everybody that's taking off, Kiana, what are you doing?
I'm gonna start moving, but slowly, and still kind of keeping an eye out on what's happening behind.
Okay.
Just
So you're going to leave the scene and observe the horrific things that might happen. Josiah, what are you doing, my friend?
I'm pulling 20 feet out, turning around, and any of the runners that get close enough to take a swipe at them, since that's probably their main target, I'm going to try and pick them off.
Okay, to maintain an action in this area means that you still will be in danger. Is that okay with you?
I'm like way closer. Like I'm a much bigger target.
For what you can see, sure.
Oh no, he's definitely still in danger. Just,
Yeah. How far
Alyssa?
out?
Alyssa,
Sorry.
you rumble down. Kiana, you rumble down. Josh, you run. Strider, you're waiting. Josiah, rumble down or
How
stay.
far out would I have to be to have enough distance from?
Once again, the far enough out to not get hit means you cannot help. So it's either stay and potentially get hurt or ride away and be fine at this moment.
I think it's all happening pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can I take a shot then go, or will I? By that time, they're probably going to get to me.
Yeah, if you stay in the area, I'm just saying you will be in danger. So
Okay.
I understand the noble nature of not wanting to leave, but also saving yourself. But this is that devil's bargain that GMs have to give you. Sacrifice or selfishness? When you boil it down, what will it be, my friend?
He has an AK. Okay, I'm pulling out because I know he has a better chance of taking out a group than I do, especially just with a basic pistol.
With 3 rumbles, 3 of the bikes head back to the west, as I am going to need the following. Josh, you are running. I want an endurance check here just because you are running over foreign ground in the middle of the night. You are in near state of shock, and I would like the following. Any action that you feel like you could take to help the situation, Strider, let me know what it is. And we're going to enter our first intention round to see exactly who does what and when. So, Josh, you're going to be rolling an endurance. Strider, what would you like to do? And don't do it yet. Let's
break down, revving engine, ready to peel away at Josh tripping or getting on the bike.
I will leave this up to you. The possibility exists that he could go after you. If that's the case, would you leave him if it looks like he's going to be overtaken? I'll give you an either or.
I would need to see them running past him or him getting hit.
Okay.
If there's still a chance and he hasn't been hit yet, then I'm gonna stay.
Okay, prepping to ride. In that case, if that's all you're doing, Strider, move your speed dice down to 1. Josh, move your speed dice. Keep your speed dice at 2. I shall roll them as well. So 2 for speed dice with the blue square for me, for Josh, and 1 for...
Do I roll my speed dice with my endurance rolls, Greg?
No, this is just to see when you'll be rolling that endurance roll. So go ahead and roll your 2 speed dice. Okay, so Strider, you turn and you see that Josh is keeping pace a bit, and as your action was just to get ready, you are ready to peel out at a moment's notice. Josh, I need you to make that endurance roll.
I think I'm going to use a competency point for this as well.
Okay. If you want to keep ahead of them, you're going to have to use 2. Okay. And that take you down to 1?
Yes. But I mean...
Hey,
yeah.
I'm with you. So as you run, you get to the bike, and Strider, they are right behind him, maybe 3-4 feet off for some of the scouts or outrunners that are stumbling at a quick rate here. As you get to the bike, I'm going to need a composure roll from Strider as you feel the shift of weight as Josh jumps onto the back, wraps his arms around you, and you must take off.
Go!
I'll use my first competency point as well.
Okay, so with that, you're able to rumble away, and quickly you are able to put some distance between you and the zombies as they drift off into the background. You all are now back at the exit to Garrett.
I'm holding on to you, Strider, but it's as much of a hug as it is anything else.
Okay, so as you creep back into the area. No stealth in the approach, as these motorcycles are revved and, in Strider's case, carrying double the burden. But these bikes were never built for silence. They were built for intimidation. And in this case, a intimidating retreat, as 4 bikes return to Garrett. What would you all like to do?
Intimidating Retreat is the name of 5 Degrees of Failure's first album.
It went
All right,
double
we
copper, right?
Yeah. Okay, we gotta quickly decide. Do we want to brave the explosion? We want to brave the weird artificial light. Either way, we gotta make a decision because they're coming fast.
They're blocking where we need to go.
Well, I'm sure we could find a way back out that way. Just, we're not gonna be able to get through them.
They're obviously mobile. They move around maybe in a day or 2, but I really don't want to hang around.
Yeah, and it seemed like they'd probably be attracted by the explosion.
Well, we just made a more prevalent noise than the boom that happened a while back, so I really don't know.
Well, if we skedaddle, then they'll lose their noise. We just gotta decide which way to go.
By the way, who's in front and who has the headlight on now, if anybody?
I will probably be in front at this point.
Okay. So, Kiana, as you're rumbling back down towards Garrett, you're the first to see right in front of you as you kind of roll around one of the abandoned cars. You see leaning up against the lane divider where it meets down and goes into the exit ramp, you see what looks like a sword and what looks like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get those.
You're gonna park and get off your bike?
I'm gonna make sure that somebody is seeing that I'm just being like, just checking out something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I
but
go,
Hop off and run over there.
It is, in fact, what looks like a katana. And it is, in fact, what looks and sounds like a walkie-talkie. As soon as you get close, you hear the... Well, hello!
I don't know this voice, do I? Nobody from the convoy.
Sounds like Greg.
It sounds like Greg. That's weird. What the fuck is Greg? No.
I never made it past the first day. Unfortunately, guys, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to pick up that katana, and I'm going to pick up the walkie-talkie and not respond. I'm just going to start walking to the rest of the group, and I'm just like...
Does that mean somebody is watching us right now?
And exactly with that intro from Alyssa, you hear, those are some nice bikes. Didn't you have 5?
Definitely.
Should I talk to this guy? I don't know.
You know how to use a walkie-talkie. There is a definite, return call button on there.
What did I say? Old coot. Knew it. Called it.
Yeah. Just gonna press the check. Hi. Who's this?
My name's Bill. I'm right up this way. And you see a flash coming from the north.
Ah. Okay, Bill. Clearly you're watching us. Okay. And I'm just gonna... Yeah.
Any of you get bit?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you here to help us, or are you just here to chat people up?
Did you get the sword?
Yes.
That's me helping.
Oh. Thanks.
Welcome.
Is it clear up there?
Oh, it's not clear anywhere. But my way it is.
All right, cool. Would you mind if we pass by, Bill?
No?
No traps or anything? Just casually set out for zombies?
Yeah, but you'll be all right. Just stay on the road.
Cool. Good to know.
When he says that, I have a flashback to what just happened.
Yeah. Right. Okay, cool. Thanks.
By the way, when he mentioned us having had 5 bikes in this, I glanced over at Alyssa and mouth a thank you to her for those shots.
Cool. All right. We might be seeing you, Bill. You'll probably know.
Okay.
Just gonna put the walkie-talkie away. Okay.
North,
He seemed
south,
nice enough.
or back the way you came, wherever you would like to go. But it is the witching hour, my friends, as there are eyes and there is movement everywhere.
Given our options,
I'm feeling north with. I'd rather deal with a crazy old coot that I've sort of talked to and sort of know than whatever is in this explosion city.
I mean, he did sort of help, I suppose. So
I
five
mean,
of us against one of him.
yeah,
exactly.
we just gotta keep an eye out for anything. But better than the zombies, better than explosion. We should probably get moving.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Guess we're heading towards the old man, with Kiana still in the lead if no one wants to.
As you creep down the exit ramp, the only way to get off of the highway and to the north, you see at the bottom of the ramp 2 more of those dirt bikes. They are in better shape than the one up top, but the riders are most definitely not, as the entire area at the bottom of the off-ramp looks like a slaughterhouse. You see pieces of tissue and organ, broken bone, rent flesh, as it drapes everything in here, as if some hellish interior designer figured that this exit out of Garrett, Maryland needed redecorating. And they really felt the design from the inside out. As you see blood and tendon and just a painting and a tapestry, beautiful in its design, but hellish in its execution. As you kind of creep through it, Kiana, your front wheel immediately turns red, and you can see particles of whatever is on the road being thrown up onto your shins. And as you, no matter how slowly you go, it's still kind of spattering you. But you guys are able to get through it in about 15 seconds. You turn north, and the road quickly devolves from asphalt into gravel as you and begin going up a country road. Everyone roll some spot listens for me, please.
Take me home, Greg.
Oh, I will.
Oh, give me a break.
Nice. Look at those perception checks. So as you are all driving, Kiana, you're in the lead. And as you kind of go over a hill, as soon as you just kind of roll over the top of it, you see a Ford Bronco smashed in a 10-foot ditch or ravine. It is definitely one of the vehicles that was ahead of you. You believe it was second in line. It is smashed there, and there is still steam, though not as much, coming from the broken radiator. There is blood all over the hood. The front windshield is gone. It doesn't take much to figure out whoever was in this car left via the front windshield when it came to rest in its current state.
Great, cool, awesome, love it.
The walkie-talkie crackles. I didn't do that.
Can I see
Thank
that?
you, Bill, for clarifying.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Bill, did you see what happened to these people? The ones that were in the Bronco?
Yeah, a couple of them ran off into the cornfields. You notice now that on the other side of the ravine stretches what looks like limitless acres of corn.
Is there anything over there you know about?
Just a dad.
Okay.
So basic corn.
I hand it back to Karen.
Yeah, let's not go through the cornfield when we can't see anything ahead of us other than corn and hidden dead.
Yeah, I second that.
Right.
Let's bunker up with Bill and then shoot off a flare. If there's anyone from the convoys, they'll know what it means. Maybe they'll come looking for us. We can group up. I don't want to abandon anyone out there.
No.
It takes you all just maybe about 30, 45 seconds, and you find that there is a kind of an old military bridge that is just off to the side. You see that the truck just missed it, and in whatever flight it was going on, crashed into this dry bed. You guys are able to take your motorcycles around, and quickly you roll up into a compound area. There isn't a fence around it. It's open, but you see a nice cabin, and there is a glow coming from what looks like the back porch right above the back door. And as you kind of creep around towards that area, you see that there is a older truck sitting there as well. The doors on both sides, the passenger and driver, are open.
This isn't where we saw Bill signaling us, right?
It looks like it, yeah. It looks like it.
Okay.
Someone's gonna pull out the walkie-talkie again and be, "Nice place, Bill."
Thanks.
I'm guessing you can see us from somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'm just inside.
You just holding up here?
Sure.
Ask him to wave us down or something.
Yeah.
I'd come out and greet you, but I can't really do that anymore.
Why, if I may ask?
Roll spot listens, everybody.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on.
Alyssa, you're the first to notice that the truck has a handicap license plate, and that there is a remnant of what looks like a ramp going to the back door, but has been pushed and knocked off to the side.
Probably wheelchair bound.
If he's wheelchair bound, how did he get a katana like miles that way?
How has he
he interested?
survived all this time?
As minions?
Which might be watching us with him right now.
I mean, someone put that weird stuff on Josiah's boots.
People still need to eat, and we're made out of meat.
Yeah, and I wonder if Bill knows anything about that.
Okay. Do we want to see if he can help us anymore, or we just want to keep going?
You
Oh.
do notice that the road ends at this cabin. It does not continue unless you want to go through the cornfield.
Josh, do you want to take a peek in there?
Mm,
Can still keep talking to him through this.
that's true too. I mean, I don't particularly want to go in there, to be honest with you, but then, you know, I'm still reeling from my last little experience. As I'm still clinging on to you from the bike. What about you guys?
Alyssa, in addition to seeing the handicap tag, now that you're looking at the truck a bit, you see that there's something folded up on the seat.
Alright. I'm gonna take a peek under the truck, make sure there's nothing underneath it or lurking inside, and then I'm gonna see what that is.
Roll me a spot listen as you peek under the truck. Here in the darkness beneath the truck, which seems to be more profound because there is a light source that's tricking your eyes back into a state of before the fall, where light is preferred and the darkness does not need to be acclimated to. And when you look under the truck, though the shadows are thick, you see nothing. There seems to be a bundle in the seat.
Armory.
Just about one more step and you can get it.
I'm gonna... Does it look like I could maybe snag it with the barrel of my gun? Give myself a little reach?
Sure.
Try that.
I would like you to roll a, let's just do a balance check as you reach forward. As you reach forward, you snag the bundle of whatever it is. Looks like a gray set of perhaps overalls, like workman's overalls. And as you pull it out with the butt or the barrel of the AK-47, just as you pull back, you see a small white hand come out from underneath the truck with an eyedropper. But you are
Fucking
able
ham.
to jump back before anything happens. And the hand immediately retreats into the darkness.
You get there, Alyssa?
Full dodger under there.
Kiana, ask him what the hell's going on.
While
Yeah.
she's doing that, I'm going to take out my pistol and kind of put my right leg out and lean down on my left knee and just kind of lay down on the ground like that with my pistol out. Just kind of looking under the truck.
Roll me a spot listen. And while you're doing that, Alyssa, as you pull back the clothing, it is in fact overalls. And as you turn it around, it looks as if it was some type of like homespun or homemade uniform. And over the left breast area, there is a patch that says Mega. You see nothing. Yeah, you see nothing in there. I mean, obviously something was there, but
Don't know if he still is.
correct.
Or whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna keep that position.
all of a sudden the walkie-talkie squeals to life. You guys coming in?
I mean, you got any friends out here, Bill?
Dad ones. Used to be friends.
Uh-huh.
Well, then tell him he's got an intruder.
Yeah, it seems like you got people hiding under your car here. Wouldn't happen to know, weird people that like to put things on other people's shoes?
I haven't been big on shoes for a while, but no. By the way, Alyssa, you have a crit success donated from a wolf named Sam.
Okay.
Alright. I let go of the, I'm not responding, so it's soft. We could check on him. Right there. I'm curious. May have supplies, or may need help, or may help us. Or it could be with whatever the situation is.
Obviously, something suspicious up with the hands under the truck. So
With
this
you
place, either way, is not as safe as we were hoping for.
I'm with you on the curiosity, but I mean, if he has more people in there, if it's a trap,
Maybe we should go find big building.
Everyone roll a spot listen.
Come on, give me something good. Oh.
Okay, so Kiana and Strider, as everyone's having a conversation, which the apocalypse does not like. The apocalypse is not a fan of plans or communication. So as you're sitting there, you see something move in the cornfields, and it doesn't pass through like a ripple or a wave, like a gopher or a land shark, as the parting of the corn would indicate. You see something leap 10 to 15 feet above the cornfield and then lightly crash back down among the stalks. But for a brief moment, Strider, who I believe had 2 degrees of success, there's something about the face that seems very familiar. And as it catches just what little light remains from this bulb at that distance, you're very certain that it was a person from the second group, a person that you knew before the fall as Pro Restarter.
That's a terrifying image.
It's meant to be.
How far out in the field? Super close to the road?
Seems to be between you all and the main road, heading in your direction at what can only be described as a quick pace.
You see that?
Joyce, we don't have a choice. Something's coming.
Yeah, we're heading inside, I think.
Okay.
Tell him now. Tell him.
Tell him what?
Tell him we're coming in.
Hey, Bill, hope that the invitation...
Did you see something coming? There's something coming! He's
Cool.
really loud through the walkie-talkie.
Try to look for a fucking volume thing.
There isn't one. It seems like everything is like taped and kind of like there's like a lithium battery taped around. There's only like one thing for you to call. Yeah, you guys should get in here. And you
All
see
right,
that this,
turn it off.
anybody that's going to go into the cabin, I would like you to either declare that now or tell me what you are going to do, as I will allow only getting off the bike and running into the cabin without the need for a roll.
Killing the engine running into the cabin, I guess.
yeah, I'm behind Strider.
Yeah, gonna do the same, but holding onto this katana rather, just ever so casually, as you do.
You all kind of burst in through the back door, and as you look around at a very well organized, very clean, very kept cabin. The door slowly closes behind you on a little hydraulic, almost exit door, kind of and clicks shut. You guys in the cabin?
Yeah, we're in.
All right, should be safe.
Cool.
Someone keep your eyes on the windows and watch out towards that cornfield.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Strider's going to be exploring around inside the cabin looking for people with guns or traps or anything else.
Sure. So let's have everybody that's looking outside roll me a spot listen.
Yeah, I'll be helping you, Strider. Just look around.
Ignore that stealth, Greg. I meant spot listen and I just clicked the wrong.
That's okay. I'll take it. It's based on the same stuff, so we'll give you that one. 1 degree of success.
Oh, give me a break.
Josiah, you've been thrown ever since that hand dropped something on your boot, man. It's just you just reliving it now with the recent hand. Yeah.
I'm having a bit of a rough time.
It's the system, brother. Okay, so you all look around, and Josh, as you get to the window and look out, you see that the entire cornfield begins to move as if between the rows, something's coming. A lot of something is coming. And inside with Kiana and Strider, as you all begin to look around and kind of move into from where you entered, like the kitchen area, into the living room, you are met with what was probably once a family picture wall, but it now simply says, Mother Earth grants all.
Guys, there's a lot of them coming. A lot of something. Assuming it's probably walkers.
Or leapers.
You think
Kiana,
the eyedropper has something to do with it?
the crackle comes from the walkie-talkie, and Bill says, do you know what happened to the Neanderthals?
I mean, sort of, yes. I did go to school and actually study part of that. Yes. Why?
Good. You know, the different theories about how they were wiped out. One of them's climate change. Did you know that? 40,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know the world was dying, right? Before the fall,
Okay.
the world was dying.
Yes.
It's not dying anymore. Strider, just at that moment, you're looking around and you see that there are soil kits and rain kits, water treatment kits, all kinds of meteorological equipment that seems to be rigged to something on the roof. There are books on conservation and environmentalism, self-sustainment, renewable energies. It's impressive. There's areas along a grid of a map that you can only assume is Garrett, Maryland. There are circles that indicate the dead, circles that indicate followers, and circles that indicate healing. Yep. Humans were going to kill it all. We couldn't let that happen.
All right. So I feel like you're kind of talking in circles. You get
He's trying to reboot
Point.
the world.
here. You kind of sound like you were involved, or you believe in something that was involved?
Oh, I absolutely was involved. And my point, Kiana, is that you're Neanderthals.
You know, that's not a nice thing to say to somebody.
Well, problem is we had to make sure that everyone was killed. We could start over. Josh, from out into the cornfields, you see the rows begin to part, and you see 1, 2, 3 of these black-skinned, lesioned zombies that appear to have arms that are longer than they're draped below their knees. They walk forward with a lupine simian hybrid, and they seem to be approaching the cabin.
Guys, we've got company, and I don't think that they're here for pleasantries.
Looking out windows, is there any movement from the other side of the house away further from the cornfields?
It seems as you peek out, and now you were made aware of all of this by Josh, that the entire house seems surrounded.
Can I have my gun out as well, Greg?
Oh, sure, absolutely. You know, the zombies are at the top of the food chain right now. We're going to use them to clean up all the rest of y'all, and the alphas, well, they rely on smell, so the rest of us have been inoculated with them. They don't bother us, but unfortunately, they're probably gonna hunt all you down. They're top of the food chain type of people, so, or former people, but hate to tell you, but the Earth's getting great. We'll take care of it for you.
Give it to me. Give me the walkie-talkie.
Yeah. I just hand it over.
Where are you? In the house. Where are you?
Oh, I'm not in the house.
All right. Fair play.
I just... Hey, fuck you, Bill. And I'm just gonna
Yes.
chuck the walkie-talkie.
Can we get back to the bikes and get out?
I'm gonna have to fight through these.
Can we clear a path, get to the bikes, and get out?
The cornfield's right next to the road. We are going to have to drive through them.
Yeah. And they look different.
These are
than the other
moving.
walkers.
These are moving with an intelligence that is evident in their carriage. They are walking. They are not shambling.
All right, needs a hole up in a basement or a second floor room.
Is there a second floor?
You don't see any stairs.
Oh, fuck.
Gonna look around for a cellar or basement, crawl space, something.
Okay, so as you're going to go around and look for that, I'm going to ask everybody for an intention. And we are going to roll to see what happens here. I will let you know this without the need for a roll to give you a full mind's eye of what's going on. The concentration of these things seem to be the densest between the front of the cabin and the road that you traveled to get here, kind of like the front of the cabin and Garrett. Behind the house where your bikes are, there are 3, but if you wanted to make a run for it, you could presumably get on your bikes and head into the cornfield without having to engage them up front. Of course, that would be dangerous in that you wouldn't see what was coming, but that is a risk that you could take. So with that being said, I will ask each of you, what would you like to do? With the exception of Josh, you all have vehicles that you may do whatever you'd like if you disagree with what somebody else is doing. And so at this point, I ask you, my final survivors in the Garrett apocalypse, how will you defeat the Mega Mother Earth grants all?
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's Fucking stupid fucking hillbilly cult.
No, Kieran. I'm so glad you said. I'm so glad you said "fuck you" to him.
All right.
What would you like to do, Kiana?
My intention is to head towards the back where our bikes are.
I didn't understand. I thought they were all coming from the same location. With the new information, I'm probably going to head towards the back too, actually.
Yeah, we need to get going. We need
Don't
to
want to be trapped here.
Yeah, Strider's my ride, so I mean, I'm I'm right behind him.
Okay.
Heading for the bikes.
I will tell you this, Josh, as you're leaving, here's a freebie for you. You see a post and a pair of truck keys are hanging by the back door.
Would I know where this truck is?
Well, presumably it'd be the one
it's
parked
the
out
one-
back.
The one, yeah, okay. I think about it for a second, but I mean, I think I'm headed with Strider. Because I don't know if the truck's gonna actually work. I don't know. I mean, we've already been trapped once, so yeah, I think
Gotcha.
I'm gonna stick with Strider.
Josiah, what are you doing, my friend?
keeping with the group.
Heading back towards your bike?
Yeah.
And Alyssa?
Heading for the bike.
Okay. So I'd like everybody to roll me 2 speed dice to determine in what order you go.
Are you kidding me? It exploded. No.
Okay. Everybody read off your speed scores for me so I can see where we go. Looks like Josh, you're going first, right?
Sorry, I got a 3.
Yep. And so let's see.
I got
Josh
a
and
4.
So that gives you second. Looks like Kiana and Alyssa go
I got 7.
Also
at the same
seven.
time. Okay. We'll have you guys going at the same time, and then Josiah,
Y'all have fun.
not so much. So, here's how this is going to work. Josh, as you run out, you realize that you are outpacing Strider, and you reach the bike just in time to turn around. Here's the devil's bargain. These zombies are going to react now, whatever these things are. And for the most part, you split out and ran directly, kind of brushed past them, and they seem to all turn for a moment and look at the group as a bigger, more target-rich environment. You can help and put yourself back into danger, or you can continue running.
I'm all warmed up from running earlier, you know, so I'm helping, man. I would like to get the Strider's bike, but turn to face the group with my gun and just, you know, I'm looking for when one of those things gets close to Alyssa, Kiana, Josiah, or Strider, I'm gonna let loose.
Okay, so as you turn, go ahead and fire me a firearms pistol shot as you see them coming and you kind of turn and shoot. Okay, if you want to spend your last competency point.
Yeah, I'll spend it.
Alrighty, and since you basically they were ignored, I will have you roll 2 of the red square damage dice for me, please, as you turn back around and fire. So with a pop, as the gun fires off, it pierces into the trap area, like where neck meets the almost like cobra back of these creatures, as it spatters blood towards the group. The rest of these 3 turn and jump. The 2 of them turn and jump towards the group. One of them jumps at Josiah, and one of them jumps at Strider. One of them turns, the one that you just shot, turns back towards you, though. I would like you to roll a dodge as it... Actually, no, your action was done, so I'm going to go ahead and roll And as it sweeps forward, you still outpace it, so you're able to shoot and duck as it creeps over top of you.
Nice.
Strider, I want you can either roll a dodge here and forego your run to the bike, or you can continue along your course and hope that this thing fails. What would you like to do?
I'm going to dodge because my first intention is to blunderbuss this thing to the face. So,
if you want to use competency points here before you roll, you may do so and jack it up as high as you think you need it to have it.
I'll add 2 points to my dodge.
Okay, well then don't roll your dodge because that would give you just 2 successes if that's what you want. Just kind of stay almost like in blackjack. And with 1 degree of failure, it swings over as you are able to duck and move away from it and pull the blunderbuss free from where you had it stowed. Josiah, as yours comes down, it lands in front of you and then cocks its head, and as it gets close enough, it and turns towards Kiana, ignoring you. Kiana, do you want to dodge or do you want to continue your run?
I'm gonna dodge.
Same thing that I told Strider. You can
and
use
I'm gonna
competency points. How many?
Yeah, I'm gonna use I'm gonna use 1 competency point.
So again, as this thing turns and attacks with your competency point, you're able to dodge out of the way. You are still engaged with it though. So the next person that we go to is Strider. Blunderbuss is out, my friend.
To the face.
Roll me 6 damage dice, please.
I would be happy to.
How many times did that explode? Oh my god.
4. It exploded 4 times. So as you turn with the 4 barrels each exploding, it kicks you backwards against the ground as you're already laying prone. But what once was this looming cobra'd back creature disappears as a pair of legs from the waist down crumple awkwardly as a fallen erector set would. The top is with the wind. Kiana, you are engaged, so we're going to go first. What would you like to do?
I would like to pull out the katana and just slash at this one.
Okay. You get an automatic hit with the katana as it is a super weapon. Please roll me 3 damage dice. And as you slice down, one of the black long arms meets the Garrett earth. The creature doesn't seem to notice except to kind of shift its balance as an appendage has now caused it to be kind of off weight a bit. And it quickly reasserts itself as it stares at you. As we go to Alyssa. Alyssa, everyone else is engaged. Your bike is in front of you. And roll me a spot listen. You hear movement everywhere, but you do not see it. Something else is coming.
Garrett took out one of these things. Kiana injured another. I'm gonna take my AK and fire at the one that's engaged with Kiana.
Okay, so if you want to do that, I will allow you to use the 3 success burst that you can have with the AK, and roll 3 damage dice for me. So just jack up the number beside the red square to 3 and give that a roll. Just click on the red square. And now, if you would, right below that at the depletion dice, I'd like you to click that up to 4 and then click the white square for me, please. So, Alyssa, as you fire, as these cracks go off, Kiana, you see the one that's looking down at its arm and readjusting. It blisters, and you see the black flesh fly off the side of it, this ebony kind of shearing that's being done by the machine gun, and it falls to the ground, quivers for a moment as if it's exhaling, and does not move. The gun still seems to have some ammo in it too, Alyssa. As we drop now finally to Josiah, you have a straight shot to your bike, and none of these things appear to even be looking at you. You're always in this situation, buddy. Run and fight, or just run.
I'm gonna start heading to my bike. Halfway there, I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna take the Walter, and I'm gonna spend 3 points.
Okay. So roll me 3 damage dice as you are going to shoot the one that is that has come down over on Josh, that Josh was able to hit. So go ahead and fire those off for me, please. And with that shot, you kind of redirect it a bit as the creature is still standing. And as we get back up to the top of this order, I would have everybody roll spot listens, please, as the cornfield erupts around you. Several things happen here at once, kids. As you look, you see a wave of these creatures jumping and loping off the top of the cabin and leaping like creatures from myth, werewolves, as they bound and enter into the area. But from the cornfields, you see emerge all of the survivors that had been before you, as you see Lauren and Brew and people bust out through the cornfield and guns erupt into the night. A wave of death fires from their position over your heads to take this wave as it jumps across the top of the cabin. And as you see Dawn and as you see everyone else, as Trey and Steve and everyone comes in and fires these rounds off, you see that leading the charge and dressed in some type of ceremonial outfit befitting a cardinal or a pope is Charlie, as she seems to have some type of flamethrower attached to her back.
As she's screaming, yes! Yes, let's go!
Yeah, basically the same. Just like, Calvary!
And as they all run in and fire, you see that somehow this broken down Volkswagen thing that is burned up in the inside and blackened rolls out without any type of top on it. And as it pulls in front, Sam has gotten back behind the wheel as she yells for you all to jump into the back or get onto your bikes. There seems to have been a wall through the corn driven by your helpers. They all have various types of firearms. They are holding off everyone to get you to their position. I am going to ask everyone for one final roll if you've got competency points. Now is the time to spend them. I want everyone to roll me one endurance roll as you are either running to your bikes, getting on them, or running straight to the other survivors. This is the moment where you fall or you survive.
I'm going to spend my last 3 points.
I'm spending my last 2.
Right.
Come on, Lady Luck.
I've got 4 endurance, 4 competency points.
Spend them all. Spend them all.
Spending them all.
Yeah, I'm going to spend all 4 competency points.
The only person rolling then is Josh.
Come on, Josh. Come on, Josh.
No.
After we risked ourselves.
I know, right?
Oh, wait. It's tied.
You guys all turn and run, and you hear a collapse in the gravel behind you as as Pistol goes forward in, and without any type of weapon, Josh crashes to the ground. He immediately pushes himself back up as the dust and the dirt of Garrett cover the front of him, almost as if he had slid into third. And as he stands and turns and looks, you see one of these massive black ebony zombies come flying in through the night air towards him. That was a push. One more endurance roll. One more zombie roll, Josh.
One more. Fingers crossed. No, come on.
Oh.
As Josh begins to crab away on the ground, you see this creature land. And what I am going to now ask is, if you are a survivor and you are currently in chat, type in mega, and for each one of those is a success for Josh. So just type in MEGA if you are in chat and you are a survivor of this game. 1,
Oh man,
Two,
come on.
3, 4, 5, 6. And as one, the survivors that are standing there with a flamethrower leading them, as the creature's fingers descend upon Josh's neck, blisters of bullets and hellfire rip this thing off of you, taking the shirt that is stained with the dirt with it. That's how close it was. You're standing there with just a tear down the front of you. You are alive, and you are all among the living that have survived Garrett Maryland.
You guys are amazing. I'm so glad. No, man.
And so as you all pull up from this position and run in with the rest of the crew, you're all standing there for a second, and a walkie-talkie crackles from somewhere.
Throw it away. Get rid of that. Get rid of it. Smash it.
It was tossed. It's just lying off somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see where the fuck that walkie-talkie is. Motherfucking go.
Don't go back there.
You hear it before you get to it. That was impressive. Really impressive. You guys wanna join the mega?
I pick up the walkie-talkie. Fuck you, Bill. And I toss that walkie-talkie away.
Yes.
And that is where we will end this series of Outbreak Undead.
Yes.
Awesome. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god, that was so close. That was so close.
So everybody, we will go around and talk to everyone as we do our outros. I will go in reverse order as Strider. What did you think, my friend? And did you enjoy your time in the zombie apocalypse?
Tremendous. I love the system. I love the DM. I love all of this. I want to see. I'm gonna make some Left 4 Dead-esque like versus Outbreak Undead game at some point. When it comes to season finales of shows, or series finales of shows, Greg, I do the smiting, and things were definitely smitten, smoted.
They were smote. They were smote faux show, and that one 44 damage from the blunderbuss. That was amazing. Also, I would like to thank everybody in chat who donated, because those super weapons came in super handy as they were carried over from last. Yeah, very, very good stuff. As we drop down, Alyssa, first time on the channel. Everybody, by the way, follow Strider. His link's in chat. Like I said, surround yourself with nice people and Strider. You always need to have a Strider, or you don't realize how nice everyone else is, or how not sociopathic I'm kidding.
I
he's
can
a great
speak.
guy.
I can speak from experience because the bike and all.
Right. Alyssa, how did you enjoy your time in the zombie apocalypse?
That was great. My characters always suck at perception checks for some reason, but it's nice to be a little bit badass when it comes to shooting or spell slinging. So, yeah, that was great.
Absolutely. And you know what? I love when the dice decide at a particular time when somebody that hadn't been doing well with perception or whatnot, Alyssa, you were the one that kind of caught, the handicap, the creature coming out from underneath, and I like that. The dice always tell the story, as we say, and it's really cool whenever somebody gets a chance to do something that maybe hadn't gone their way a little bit earlier. But that was great. Thank you so much for playing. I'm so glad to have met you and played with you, and I hope to do so again in the near future. As we roll over to somebody that I mean the exact same statements for, Josiah, how did you like your time in the zombie apocalypse? And welcome to the channel.
That was insane. I think that's like the best word to describe it. I had a heart attack like throughout the entire thing. Oh, that was awesome, man. That was absolutely awesome. And I'm glad that I was actually able to get one shot off at least. Whew.
Yep, it always feels good to be able to do so. But like I said, the system is very brutal, but at the same time, once you kind of get past, everybody's level 1 right here. Once you get past this area, things kind of help when you get more equipment, and it's a fantastic system. I will be throwing those links up momentarily in chat if you would like to enjoy it for the spookiest weekend of the year. But yes, Josiah and everybody, your links are in chat as they are speaking. Please follow them. They're nice people. And we will jump over to Josh, who came the closest to getting eviscerated, the final death.
Oh my God, man.
Why?
Huge thanks to all the survivors in chat that saved me there, because that was close.
I was about to just be like, I'm gonna go back, and I'm just gonna tackle the thing and just mag dump the pistol.
No, thanks.
I want him to live.
Thanks, buddy. This was amazing experience with you guys, and I had so much fun. With your story here, Greg. Oh man, this the same as Josiah, man. You had me so tensed up here. Just it was so awesome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely, man. Thank you very much. And for all of my new people, Alyssa, Josiah, and Josh, I'm so glad to have a chance to play with you all. I hope to do so again in the near future. Fun times had by all. I love it when you have those moments, and I knew I wanted to involve the survivors because of the great support that they've given throughout the course of this. So I wanted to make sure that if somebody did fall at the end, that there was a chance for everyone to come back in a way and enact some revenge.
That was epic.
It was great, yeah.
Awesome.
Especially for the guy that was down. Just like, oh no.
It might have been cool, but it was super cool for me, right?
Dude, I felt that brush with death. I was just like, oh, this is it.
Right. Awesome. As we go over to the leather-clad, katana-wielding Kiana, who also ended the series with a classic Kiana, fuck you. How did you enjoy your time in the zombie apocalypse?
Oh, Greg, when you give me a motorcycle and a leather jacket and a fucking katana, I'm gonna have a great time. No, this was so much fun. I know we did a lot of talking, but that's what I do. And just getting to shout to the guy who was in the center of all this bullshit, fuck you, it's, always cathartic. Always cathartic. No, yeah, this was fantastic.
It's not a metaphor or anything.
No. No, it's super cathartic, and it was super fun to play with all of you, and it was super awesome to see everybody in chat supporting this. So, yeah, this was awesome, and man, I just hope this isn't going to be reality, but who knows? I'll know who to call up.
Right, you got your team. You can assemble the Avengers whenever you need them. You guys just need a katana and a blunderbuss, and everyone else that was involved here, a couple old-timey 70s and 80s cars and motorcycles. You guys will be
Now
all
I know
set.
what
You
not to
actually
do.
won't have like an 8 out of 10 chance of failing every time.
Right. Just like real life. I had a blast doing this with so many people. I think we had 27 total players in this, which was
Nice.
super duper fun. I loved having everyone in here. It seemed like it was such a fun thing to do during the Halloween times and the spooky times, and zombies are super fun. So also everybody, and a couple people that watch this, I got a couple comments on the YouTubes and on Twitter that said, why do they fail all the time? I would do so much better. I would like you to go to the link in chat, everybody. It is www.spewai.com. spewai.com. That is a 40-question personality test. If you take it and are honest, you will get your 4 scores in strength, perception, empathy, and willpower. You can plug those into the character sheet, and you will know exactly how poorly you'll do on everything as well. It's designed to be tough. It's designed to be superhuman when you do something cool like these people did today. And so it's a great place to play. And right now over on Drive-Thru RPG, I think it's coupled with both Halloween and the fact that they're having We're Alive Frontier Season 2 start over on Alpha. A lot of the elements of this game, like base rules and the arcade system, are free. So go over and download those PDFs and have some fun. I recommend the arcade rules and just kind of going with the spread system. It's really fun. Good thing to do this weekend, to have a blast in the spookiest weekend of the year. But as for the channel, we will be coming back with new seasons of Project Athena this Sunday. Final season begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time this Sunday. We also have May Black Roses Bloom, our Dragonlance D&D 5th edition campaign. It has just started and it is on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. This week at 9 p.m. because I have to dress up like a knight and take my daughter out trick-or-treating, which is the coolest thing ever. And then we have Project Chronos coming back out, which is Pulp Cthulhu. We also have a new long-term D&D campaign that is called, it's based off of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. It'll be coming as well. And at the new year, we have Highlander, if on a winter's night. So when all that comes out, please just hit that follow button, be notified when we go live. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. We have some fun things going on. We're a great community. And if you don't want to do any of that, follow these people because they're a lot better than I am. But until next time, all, make sure you avoid the zombies. And if you can't find one of these 27 survivors, well, minus a couple, there's a good 24 of them out there. Well, maybe less than that. There's a good grip of them. Find them and surround yourself with them, and at the very least, they'll be meat shields. Until next time, everybody, take it easy and have a great Halloween.